Welcome to the first ever Snack Wars presented by the Fitness Hippie podcast, where I try to find the most delicious, but yet still healthy snack. You snack, I snack. We all snack. Snacking is a way of life. In between meals, you don't feel like preparing food, you don't feel like going anywhere, so you turn to your pantry and you have a wide world of possibilities that we call snacks. But of course, in the health and fitness world, snacking can maybe sometimes put you in a bit of a predicament depending on your fitness goals. If you're trying to lose weight, snacking is one of those things that could potentially put you over your calories for the day, which is going to make it a little bit difficult for you to make progress in your fitness journey. But of course, that being said, you and I both know that we're not going to stop snacking. Snacking is a way of life. So over the course of the next 4 episodes, 8 contestants in 4 different divisions will battle in head-to-head matchups to see who the last snack standing is and the ultimate supreme snack of the Snack Wars. Here is your bracket. We've got 4 different divisions in 2 conferences. In today's episode, we're going to be looking at the Western Conference, where we've got the peanut division with almonds versus pistachios, and the rice cake division with regular old rice cakes versus Rice Krispie treats. Let's get into round 1. A few weeks ago, my dad texted me, he said, you know, it'd be a great podcast episode. And I was like, what? He's like, an episode about nuts.
Got him! Got him!
And I was like, that's a great idea, but I don't know if I have the nuts to make an entire episode about nuts. So as an avid watcher of Good Mythical Morning, I had a little bit of a brainstorm, and I was like, oh, a snack battle, bracket style. That's a perfect way to incorporate nuts, but also make it all encompassing as an entire snack episode. So this division is for my dad. If you like this episode and the 3 episodes coming up, you have him to thank for it, and he would like it if you hit the subscribe button wherever you're watching or listening. So in today's first matchup, we've got almonds. We've got Wegmans raw almonds versus that font is, I don't know what that font says. Gelton Farms salt and pepper pistachios, also from Wegmans. These were the 2 cheapest options. I'm typically not a nut eater. I didn't realize how expensive nuts were. But of course, you know, there's different variations of these that you guys can get. Raw almonds, there's salted almonds, there's flavored almonds, and I've got the salt and pepper pistachios. Of course, you can get unflavored pistachios, whatever the case may be. So I literally Googled the healthiest nuts, the healthiest peanuts, and almonds and pistachios were the first 2 choices. Hence, that's what I got from Wegmans. So in today's rounds, in the first preliminary rounds, for the next 2 episodes, the 2 criteria that I'm going to judge based on are taste and the nutritional information. So each of those I'll give a score from 1 to 10, combine them, and then the highest score between the 2 will move on to the next round and compete against the winner of the opposite division. So whoever wins between almonds and pistachios will compete against whoever wins between rice cakes and Rice Krispie treats. So let's get into it. First up, we've got raw almonds. So like I said, I'm not usually a big nut eater. So here we go, raw almonds. So when I do taste these, I'm going to use the scale. I'm going to use the legit taste scale, right? I'm not going to skewer this down. I'm not going to say these are good for being healthy. I'm going to use a legit scale. So when you guys are out there looking for snacks, when you're walking through the grocery aisle, you know kind of what you're getting into. And of course, our tastes vary, right? But I'm using the 10 out of 10 on my scale is like my favorite snacks of all time, which would be like Munchies chips or cookies or something like that, right? Like that's my 10 out of 10. And I'm going to score these based on that scale. So for almonds, let's see what we got here. This is great podcasting. Pretty much an audio only platform I'm eating food. All right, so almonds. If you've ever had nuts, you kind of know what to expect here. Almonds don't pack a bunch of flavor. They're not bad, right? They're really not bad. They're kind of dull in flavor, which is maybe something that you're into. I would say that compared to my favorite snacks of all time at a 10 out of 10, I'll give those a 3. And that's not to say that they're bad. Like a 1 out of 10 is like disgusting. 3, I would eat those. But like compared to, obviously you've got to skew everything down from the munchies and the cookies. So everything from like an 8 down is going to be a big drop off. But a 3 out of 10, that feels about right. There's not a lot of flavor. And of course, if you get flavored almonds, that is a better option for you. But of course, the macros will change, and that'll be the next criteria. But let me try these salt and pepper pistachios. So I've got a bit of a confession to make. I've never eaten a pistachio before, so this will be a new thing for me. I think you're just supposed to discard the outside. It's kind of like a sunflower seeds. Right, okay, so first time eating almond. Let me cleanse my palate. Hold on a second. I can't have cross-contamination. All right, boom. So Baby Yoda, do even lift. Get a little cleansing of the palate here. Make sure everything is fairly scored. So for the pistachios, let's see. See if I know how to eat a pistachio. So right off the bat, a lot more flavor because it's salt and pepper pistachio. I'm assuming I'll throw it around. Is this ASM? Oh, there's the pepper. Definitely more flavorful than an almond. But I don't know if this is a fair comparison because you can get plain pistachios and those are just plain raw almonds. But if you're looking for flavor and you want to eat some nuts, then a salted salt and pepper pistachio might be a good way to go. So, are you supposed to crack this thing? Holy cow. All right. I'm not sure. I'm pretty sure I'm not doing this right. Maybe you're supposed to crack it before or after. That pistachio just shot out of my mouth and it's on me. Are you supposed to crack these things before you eat them? That kind of makes sense. All right, so there we go. Oh, so even the inside is salty and peppery. Okay. Well, that was unexpected. I don't know if this is shell, if this is the inside. I'm not going to risk my life over it. So from a flavor standpoint, definitely a lot more flavor. Like that almost has, it was really salty at first. Then you get the pepper after. Even like a little bit of a kick of pepper. So from a flavor standpoint, if the raw almonds are a 3 out of 10 because they're not super flavorful, these are, I'm going to give them a 5, right down the middle. If I had the choice between munchies, the crackers, and this, I'm definitely never going to grab these. But in the case of like, I'm trying to be really good with my fitness, I'm trying to be really good with the way I eat, this is not a bad alternative. So I'll give the pistachios a 5 out of 10. So from the course of, those are the scores for the taste. Over the course of the nutritional information, let's see what we have here. So for the raw almonds, Wegmans raw almonds, there's about 10 servings per container. And of course, depending on your fitness goals, you might have different things that you focus on. So for the score that I'm going to give here for the nutritional information, all I really care about is the calories and the protein. Those are the most important things for most people, right? If you want to go down the deeper path of looking at fat and looking at carbs, you can do that. But I think for the most part, it's maybe an excessive amount of work than most people have to do. So I'm just going to look at the calories and the protein. So in this particular raw almond bag, there's about 10 servings. So 1 ounce is 1 serving, 28 grams, about a quarter of a cup. And that is 160 calories with 6 grams of protein, which is really not that bad. So if you kind of, I don't know, it's kind of hard to tell with the screen here. If you don't know what 28 grams of raw almonds is, if you take this and you kind of divide it by 10, like what's 1/10 of this bag, which is ultimately not a ton of almonds if I'm looking at it now. That's only 160 calories, which is pretty good for your macros, and 6 grams of protein. So, you know, you're probably not picking this up and destroying the whole bag. So that's pretty good. I would say for the macros for this, 166 grams of protein. Of course, there are other options out there where you can get more protein-driven snacks. The fucking Lenny and Larry's cookies, even though they're trash, that's a more protein-driven snack, protein bars, all that fun stuff. If you want some nuts, 160 for 60 grams of protein. I don't know kind of where the pistachios look or where the pistachios are, so I'm going to put this right down the middle. I'm going to put this at a 5 just because the macros are good, the calories are low, but the protein's not super high, but that's pretty good. So 5 out of 10 for the almonds, for the nutritional information. And then for the pistachios, Of course, I ripped this right on the nutritional facts. So let's see. We've got serving size is a quarter of a cup without shells and half a cup with the shells. So servings per container, there are about 3. So this is a smaller bag. So if you cut this into thirds, once again, still not a ton of pistachios, and that is 170 calories and 6 grams of protein. So pretty much identical to the raw almonds, right? 170 and 6 grams of protein versus 160 and 6 grams of protein for one serving size. But I guess the one thing that the pistachios have going for them is that it takes a lot more work to eat a pistachio. You guys just saw me struggle to figure out how to eat a pistachio. So if you've never eaten a pistachio before, you're going to be lost the first time you do it. I guess it's pretty common sense. Sometimes I'm a little bit dense, but it's going to be a lot more work to eat a pistachio, right? Versus the almonds, you can just grab in that bag, grab a bunch, pop them in your mouth, and you're just going to town on these almonds. Versus the pistachios, you either have to break them in your mouth, which I was not able to do. Maybe you're not supposed to break them in your mouth. That's how you break teeth. Or you're supposed to break them beforehand and then eat the insides and then discard of them. So the likelihood of you overeating the almonds is a lot less, or the pistachios, I should say, is a lot less than you would eating the almonds. So I guess from the macro standpoint, even though this is technically a little bit more high in calories, the likelihood of you overeating something like this is a lot less. So for the pistachios, for the nutritional information, if I gave the almonds a 5 out of 10, I will give the pistachios a 6 out of 10. It gives you a little edge because it's harder to eat. So at the conclusion of round 1, the almonds got a combined 8 out of a possible 20, and the pistachios got an 11 out of a possible 20, meaning that the pistachios move on to round 2. All right, so round 2, a little bit of a Baby Yoda palate cleanse once again. And in the rice cake division, we've got regular old rice cakes versus Rice Krispie treats. So for this one in particular, I couldn't find regular rice cakes. Also wasn't looking super hard. But I got these crunchy rice snacks, right? This is honey cinnamon flavor. They're like logs at this point. So I don't know if you guys can see that. There you go. So the traditional rice cakes that you know are like little Frisbees, I guess. This is more or less the same thing, just in a log form. And then you've got the good old-fashioned Rice Krispie treats right there. I straight up only got these because of the TikTok trend where people were eating these for a pre-workout so they can get a sick pump, right? But these two are pretty comparable. So let's see what happens when we look at these. All right, so for the rice cakes. Once again, this is one of those things where hopefully you guys can hear me over the crinkling of the wrapper here. I should have had these open or something. The rice cakes, you can get plain flavors, like the Quaker Oats rice cakes. They come in different flavors. They come in plain. They come in caramel, something like that. So these are honey cinnamon. Oh, these things are just open. Like, they're not even, I guess that makes sense. So here we go. All right, rice cake. Smell good. It's honey cinnamon. Yeah, you can definitely smell the cinnamon on here. Let's see. Okay. So, I guess you can definitely taste the honey. You can definitely taste the cinnamon. But they have a pretty distinct smell. So, I kind of anticipated the taste being very, very strong. But it's not. It's more subdued taste. Definitely not bad. Would I reach for this over some other options out there? Probably not. They almost, I don't know. I don't know if the combination of the honey and the cinnamon almost makes it taste a little soapy, but not bad. So I would probably eat this over the almonds if I had the choice. So I'm going to give this a 4 out of 10 for the rice logs. These are, probably should have said this, J1, I don't know how to say that, sweet crunchy rice snack, honey cinnamon. They're vegetarian, no preservatives, gluten-free, and no artificial colors or flavors. I don't know if you guys can see that there with the light. So 4 out of 10 for flavor for these rice snacks. Last but not least for today's episode, I got the Rice Krispie treats. And like I said, I did this because of the TikTok trend. So there's a TikTok trend going around where people were using this as pre-workouts because it gives you a sick pump. And it's, I'm not a nutritional scientist, so I would not have ever figured this out on my own, if I'm being completely honest, where I guess the availability of the simple sugars here and the simple carbs pretty much goes straight to your bloodstream if, what I gather from TikTok is correct, and it allows you to get a pump while working out, gives you that instant boost of energy. So whether or not that's true, take it up with the scientists, but that's what I hear on the old ticker talkers from the children. Well, we got the regular old-fashioned original Rice Krispie treats. Pretty small, but here we go. You kind of know what you've had Rice Krispie treats before. You know exactly what's happening. So let's see what's going on here. You see all that marshmallowy goodness? Man, that light's terrible. That's not helping. There you go. So it's definitely, in comparison, it's impossible to see, but like the Rice Krispie treat's a lot shinier than the rice roll. Let's see what we got here. I mean, it's worlds different, obviously. Like a Rice Krispie treat with all the marshmallow, whatever's actually in between. Is it marshmallow in between? I think it's marshmallow in between. Way sweeter than the rice roll. I'll top this one off. I'm about to work out anyways. From a taste perspective, delicious. Compared to my favorite snacks of all time, I'll give this an 8. This is really solid. You guys know what a Rice Krispie treat tastes like. I don't know why I'm telling you guys. 8 out of 10 for the taste. So back to the crunchy rice snack rolls. For the nutritional information, there are 8 servings per container. A serving is just one of these whole snack rolls. This is the one that I had started eating. I don't know if you guys can see how long it is. I ate a pretty decent portion of it. So they're actually pretty big. And it is 40 calories. 40 calories for one stick. And for protein, 0 grams of protein. So there is no protein in here, but this is very, very, very low calories. So if you are looking for a very low calorie snack, maybe you're getting your protein elsewhere, this is a great option because this is a pretty decent size for 40 calories. I'll give that no protein, so it's not the best, but the calories are very low if you want to have, like that compared to the nuts is going to be vastly different. You're going to probably eat and feel the same amount of fullness maybe versus the nuts with the Rice Krispie or the rice snack roll. So I'm going to give this a 7 out of 10 for the nutritional information. Not a lot of protein, no protein at all, I should say, but very low in calories. And then for the Rice Krispie treat, 8 servings per container. That's just how many servings, how many Rice Krispie treats are in this box. Serving size is 1 bar, obviously. 1 bar has 90 calories and protein, less than 1 gram. So once again, a negligible amount of protein, but the calories are pretty much more than double of the other rice snacks. So if you're a person who favors or has more of importance on the calorie side of it, obviously depending on your nutritional and fitness goals, then this is not it for you. But the calories are not bad. 90 calories for a really small Rice Krispie treat is not the best. It's not terrible, but it's kind of somewhere in the middle. No protein at all whatsoever. You're not doing this for protein. You're doing that for a quick pick-me-up in between snacks, but it's a really little thing for 90 calories. So I will give it, for a macro perspective, right down the middle, a 5 out of 10. Which leads us to the final scores. The rice snack roll had a 4 for a taste and a 7 for the nutritional information, giving it an 11 out of 20 possible score. And for the Rice Krispie treat, an 8 out of 10 for the flavor and a 5 out of 10 for the macros, giving it a possible 13 out of 20, which is the highest score of this first episode. So the Rice Krispie treats move on to the second episode to take on the salt and pepper pistachios. Hopefully you enjoyed today's episode. The Eastern Conference is up next in episode number 2 of the Snack Wars. If you enjoyed this week's episode, make sure to hit that subscribe button wherever you're watching or listening. Make sure to follow me on Instagram at MTEFit and also on TikTok at MTEFit. And be on the lookout for episode 2 of the Snack Wars. I'll see you guys in the next one. Peace out.